Day 746 of doing the LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again. Another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 2540, minimum common value. The difficulty level is easy, but don't worry because you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. Given two integer arrays nums1 and nums2 sorted in non-decreasing order, return the minimum integer common to both arrays. If there is no common integer amongst nums1 and nums2, return -1. Note that an integer is said to be common to nums1 and nums2 if both arrays have at least one occurrence of that integer. All right, y'all, so that may seem a little bit confusing. So let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure that we're doing this problem correctly, and you'll see that this question is actually pretty simple. So in example 1, we have our input nums equals an array of integers 1, 2, 3. Nums2 equals an array of integers 2, 4. The output is 2. Explanation says the smallest element common to both arrays is 2, so we return 2. So let's break this down one step further. We're going to iterate through this array, and then we're going to iterate through this array. And we want to see which number occurs in both arrays, right? So in this case, 2 occurs here in nums1, and it also occurs here in nums2. Now, we want it to be the smallest one, but in this case, there's only one element, so, and that element is 2, so we return 2. Now, let's take a look at example 2, where there might be multiple numbers that appear in both arrays, and we have to choose the smallest one. So in example 2, we have our input our input nums1 equals an array of integers 1, 2, 3, 6. Nums2 equals an array of integers 2, 3, 4, 5. The output is 2. Explanation says there are two common elements in the array, 2 and 3, out of which 2 is the smallest, so 2 is returned. So in this case, we have a 2 in this array, and we have a 2 in this, and we have a 2 in this array, right? And we also have a 3 in this array, and we have a 3 in this array. Now, since 2 is smaller than 3, that's why we return 2, because remember, we want to return the minimum integer common to both. So in this case, 2 is the minimum integer that is in both arrays, so that's why we return 2. Now, I hope that makes sense to y'all, and now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. The solution is not that difficult at all. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to create a set of nums1. So we're just going to declare constant. We're going to say let set1 equal, and it's going to be a set, open up the parentheses, and pass in nums1. Boom. Now we're going to iterate through nums2. So we're going to say for num and nums2, we'll open up the brackets, and we're going to check to see if num is already in set1. So we're going to say if set1 dot contains, open up the parentheses, num, then we could just come right here and return num, right? Because it's the arrays are already sorted. So since they're already sorted, as we're going through the array, the first number we come across that's in both will be the smallest one, because these arrays are already sorted. And then if we don't find one, then we could just say, come right here, and we could say return -1. I forgot the brackets on the if anyway, so let me just go ahead and do it like this. Hopefully that fixes everything and it runs faster. Let's see. It's accepted, so let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. Boom, look at that, y'all. 2 milliseconds beats 20% of users. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to see, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.